You could have your first paying coaching client a few weeks from now. If you're thinking of starting a coaching business, you've probably heard that you need certifications and websites and marketing funnels and who knows what else. The list never ends. I'm dannyiny, founder and CEO of Mirasee, and I've helped thousands of people start successful coaching businesses, and I've never been certified as a coach. Surprising? Maybe, but results trump everything else, and I know how to get people results. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through 7 steps to start your coaching business in weeks, not months or years. The first step is figuring out what you're good at, and this is trickier than you might think. When something comes naturally to us, it's easy to miss its value. We think, that's just common sense, or why would anyone pay for that? But what's easy for you isn't easy for everyone else. Think back to some casual conversations you've had where you helped someone see their situation differently. You spotted patterns they're missing, or you helped make sense of their confusion. That's expertise. You've just gotten so good at it that you don't see it anymore. Now, this is usually where I hear, but Danny, that's just giving advice to friends. That's different from real coaching. Is it though? Think about it. These people could ask anyone for help. They could Google their questions. They could ask other friends, but they're coming to you. You have a way of helping them see things differently. In the coaching business, we make money by adding value to other people's lives. And it's very hard to add value doing something you're not already good at. That's why we're starting here with what you already do well, instead of trying to build everything from scratch. You might come to realize that you're good at multiple things. Great, write them all down. We'll narrow it down later. So that's step 1. What are you good at? Now for step 2, you're going to find people who actually value that thing you're good at. And no, I'm not going to tell you to run ads or build some fancy funnel. Not yet anyway. You first need to validate that what you're offering is actually valuable, that people care enough to pay for it. So make a list of about 20 people you already know. These are people in your network who have come to you for help or advice, who value your perspective in your area of expertise, or who might benefit from working with you more formally. If you identified multiple things that you're good at in step 1, you might have different lists for different areas. That's fine. It often helps to clarify where to start. The area where you can easily list the most people who really value your expertise is usually where you want to focus. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but I don't want to turn these relationships into business opportunities. I get that, and don't worry, in step 6, I'll show you exactly how to have conversations in a way that feel authentic and respectful. For now, just focus on making your list. So once you do that, you'll have your list of people that you know personally who would value and benefit from your expertise, and that's great. Now, you're going to throw it out the window. Well, not literally, but you're going to pick just one person from that list to focus on. Why just one person? Because it's easier to solve a real person's problems than to guess what some target market wants. You're not trying to figure out what professional women aged 42 to 57 need. You're thinking about what Sarah needs. And you know Sarah, you know her challenges, you know what matters to her. Look for someone who respects your opinion, who you would genuinely love to help succeed, and who would actually value the outcome that you can provide. That person is your starting point. And by the way, there are 10 guiding questions that I have coaches answer in our Monetize Me program to help them launch ultra high value programs and offers so they can quickly monetize their gifts. If you'd like free access to these 10 questions, plus a training to go with it, check out the description below. Now to step 3. Figure out what that one person actually wants. I bet you started thinking about what you could offer them, right? But that's not what I asked you to do. What does your one person really want? People don't want a coaching package or a 6-week program. They want to move away from something or towards something better. Imagine you're thinking about booking a vacation to Tahiti. What do you want to hear about? The pristine beaches, the crystal clear water, the spectacular sunsets? Or do you want a detailed description of the airplane that's going to get you there? Sure, you need to know there is a reliable airplane to get you there, but you're not buying the flight, you're buying Tahiti. Your coaching is people's airplane. It's how people get to where they want to go. What they really care about, what they're actually willing to pay for, is their destination. To figure out what your person's Tahiti is, you need something that psychologists call perspective taking, stepping out of your own shoes and into theirs. What matters to them? What are they moving toward? What are they trying to move away from? Now, your person might want some deep transformation that will take a long time. You can't give them everything at once. So what's the first meaningful win that you could help them achieve, the first valuable outcome? Sometimes this is hard to figure out, so here's an analogy. Think about a couple going to relationship counseling. The first session is just getting acquainted with the counselor. The second session is probably just sharing background stories. Even though you're paying for these sessions, stopping there would leave you feeling like you got nothing of real value. But then comes that first breakthrough. Maybe you finally understand why you and your partner keep having the same argument, or you learn a communication technique that actually works. That's a valuable outcome. If you stop therapy right there, you'd still feel you got something worthwhile. That's exactly what we're looking for in your coaching. Not solving all of your clients' problems forever, but getting them to that first meaningful win. Just that first breakthrough that makes them think, holy crap, this actually works. So now to step 4. Figure out what it will take to deliver that first meaningful win. Think about going to physical therapy after an injury. The therapist doesn't just say, let's have some sessions and see what happens. They map out a process. First, building strength in specific muscles, then working on flexibility, then practicing real-world movements. They know what you'll need to learn, they know what you'll need to practice between sessions, and where you'll need the most guidance. Your coaching process needs that same clarity. If someone hired you tomorrow to help them achieve their first meaningful win, what would the journey actually look like? What do they need to learn from you? What do they need to try on their own? Where will they likely need guidance or support? How much time between conversations do they need to implement and see results? You might be thinking, but how can I know what it takes if I haven't done this before? That's okay. You've helped people informally, remember? Think about what worked in those conversations. Map out what you think it will take to get results. You'll refine this as you work with real clients, but for now, just make your best guess at what a successful process looks like. Now on to step 5. We're actually going to talk about pricing. Or rather, scratch that. Let's talk about resentment first. Yes, resentment. Because here's something nobody tells you about pricing. The wrong price won't just cost you money. It can kill your love for coaching entirely. I've seen it dozens of times. Someone starts coaching, charges too little, and 3 months later they're sitting there thinking, I'm doing all this work and getting paid peanuts. Why am I even doing this? So forget all those complicated pricing formulas floating around out there. Instead, think about what I call resentment-free pricing. Look at everything you're going to put into delivering that first meaningful win. What's the lowest price you could charge while still feeling good about doing all that work? It's that simple. This is about supply and demand. So you don't want to go too high above what people are actually willing to pay for the value that you'll create for them. But you also can't go too low, right? Is what they're willing to pay enough for you to help them without resentment later? And you can always raise your prices down the line. But right now, just make sure you're charging enough that halfway through working with someone, you don't hate them or yourself. Up to now, we've been laying groundwork. Now we're at step 6, and the moment of truth has arrived, having actual conversations with potential clients. And this is where a lot of people freeze up. They'll say, but Danny, can't I just run ads and sell to strangers on the internet? Do I really have to talk to people that I know? And yeah, you do. Nothing is going to sell you better than you can sell yourself. You need to talk to the people that you want to help. So grab your list of people from step 2 and send everyone a simple, personalized message, something like this. I'm working on something new. I'd love to tell you about it and get your input. Would you be interested in hearing more? That's it. No big pitch, nothing like that. If they say yes, schedule a call to talk about it some more. And when you get on the call, keep it brief and direct. I'm starting a coaching business to help, and here you insert the kind of person you want to help. to help them achieve, and here you insert the specific outcome you think people want, right? Your minimum meaningful outcome. And then you say, I was thinking of you as someone who might value this. Was I right in thinking this might interest you? Now, if they say no, perfect. That's great feedback. Just say, if you don't mind my asking, can you tell me why? I'm not trying to convince you. I just want to know where my thinking was off. That would be really helpful to me. And if they say yes, don't jump into selling. Instead say, I'm really glad to hear that. Before I tell you more about how I want to help people achieve this, I'd love to understand, why would this outcome be meaningful or valuable to you? This helps build momentum in the conversation, and it helps you validate some of your assumptions about what you think people want. If people tell you things that you weren't planning on, you can simply say, thanks for sharing. That's really helpful. What I had in mind was different from that, but I'm going to give this some thought. If I change direction, I'll let you know. But if what they're telling you is similar to what you already had in mind, which it very likely will be, you can say, thank you for sharing that. It makes me feel really good to hear that because it's really aligned with what I had in mind. Can I tell you about it? And presuming they say yes, which they most likely will, you give them the minimum amount of relevant details. How often you'll meet, what you'll focus on, how the pieces fit together to get them their outcome. They don't need a ton of information. They need confidence that you can really deliver the outcome they want. So give them space to ask questions and answer them honestly. If they ask about the price, tell them what it is with confidence. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. You know what you're good at, and you know people who respect and value your expertise. Just reach out and start the conversation. When you get that first yes, and you will, step 7 is to activate the sale. Don't make it all about the payment. Focus on the exciting part first. Fantastic, let's schedule your first session. Then we'll handle the payment and other details. When someone says yes, they're excited about the change they're about to make. Build on that momentum. Get them committed to a specific start date. Then worry about payment. These 7 steps can get you your first paying clients quickly. No certifications, websites, or marketing plans needed. But landing clients is just the beginning. Now you need to deliver on your promise, so here's a bonus step. Let's say you've landed your first few clients. Now you're in full-on panic mode. Oh God, am I giving them enough? Maybe I should add another call and a workbook and daily email support, and maybe I should just move in with them. Stop right there. Let me save you from yourself. Instead of adding more features, more calls, more bonuses, all those things that we pile on when we're feeling uncertain, focus on something much more powerful. Being completely committed to that first meaningful outcome that we talked about. If your client needs an extra session to reach that breakthrough moment, do it. If your planned approach isn't quite working, adapt. If your client needs an extra resource, give it to them. You won't add random bonuses, stretch out the program to make it look bigger, or throw in extra tools just to prove how much you know. But you will make absolutely certain that your clients get that first meaningful win that you promised them. Focus on getting real results for those first few clients, because when they succeed, you'll have something better than a perfect website or a fancy certification. You'll have proof that you can actually help people change their lives. And that's what this is all about. Look, you can spend months or years getting ready to be a coach, or you can look at what you're already good at, find someone who needs that help, and start making a difference now. It's time to get started. And if you're considering launching a coaching business, then I would highly encourage you to go to the description and grab my 10 guiding questions and free training on launching ultra high value programs and offers quickly.